Welcome everybody. Thank you for assembling today to celebrate the Tithi Puja birthday of Swami Trigunatitanandaji Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj Ji. Now, today Udaaranadaji will speak about the life and teachings of Swami Trigunatitanandaji. And before that, we'll have our evening prayers. As you know, Swami Trigunatitanandaji is credited to start the first Hindu temple in the West way back in 1906. And he died very young. He was born in 1865 and died at the age of 49 years in 1915. He was 2 years younger than Swamiji. So Maharaji will give you all the details and also his teachings. But before that, we will have the vesper services. Maharaji will perform the arati. So please join, all of you join, and thank you once again for participating and even on a weekday for being present. So we'll start the arati in a few seconds. So just give us about few seconds. We have just ended the Vesper services. So now, after Maharaji does his pranam, he will start his today's discourse. He will highlight the life and teachings of Swami Trigunatitanandaji Maharaj, who set up the center, Vedanta Center in San Francisco. So over to Maharaj. Maharaj Udaaranadaji Maharaj.
Sound is not audible at all, Nirmal. I cannot hear your voice.
I don't know. It should be audible. Are you not able to hear me?
The voice very faintly. Even the Khandana Bhavu Bandhugana was very faint.
Hiranyaji, maybe you have to check your audio settings. The voice is audible.
Because it was very loud, very loud. Khandana Bhavu Bandhana was.
I don't know. Maybe it is the problem in my system.
Because it was voluminous. So we were trying to reduce the volume. Anyway.
I have made it full volume, but still, anyway, carry on.
Okay, Maharaj.
Good evening to all of you. On the behalf of Ramakrishna Vedanta Society of the Philippines, I welcome you all. I am glad that some of you could join, even though it is a weekday. But I think this kind of facility it is because of social networking. Otherwise, sitting at the home and getting to participate, and for us also it is more convenient to do online things. So both ways, both are beneficial. So if more people join, we will be happy, and even if they are not there, we are also happy. We pray for all of them, those who have not joined. Anyway, so today I will start with the life of Swami Trigunatitananda, a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarva dharma sarupine avatar varisthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha jananim sharadam devi Ramakrishna jagadguru Pad padme tayo shritva pranamami muhur muhur Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Surai Sach Sukha Swarupaya Swami Netapaharine Kalinde Phalla Kamale Madhavena Kridarata Brahmananda Namastogam Sadguru Lokanayakam. You see, we are celebrating Sri Ramakrishna when he incarnated into this world. He brought with him a team of soldiers who had each one of them had a designated duty to perform, and they did it very wonderfully. And Swami Vivekananda was their leader. But even though he was the leader, each of the disciples, 16 disciples, were very, very unique in themselves, and each could have a own, but since they were under the umbrella of Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda, their power could not be seen or appreciated as it should have been. But that is why we each Tithi Puja, the birthdays, we talk about them and contemplate about their life, think about their life, and then try to follow that. That is why I said the three things are very important. That is, first is Shravana, manana and nididhyasana. First, we have to listen to the good words of the saint and the Upanishad, hear it, because hearing is more easy than reading. If you keep on hearing good thing all day, and then you have to contemplate on what you have heard. And after contemplating means you have to do introspection. Okay, why this is inspiring and why I should follow that in your life. And then the third thing is that we have to practice that in your life. If these three things are very necessary to upgrade our own life, all the time we should not be happy with what we are. We should try to improve ourselves every day. Each day we have to put in effort to develop from where we are already. You see, when we upgrade our phones, laptop, why not our own body, on our own personality? Why we are happy with what we are? We should improving every day. So that is why we discuss the life of these direct disciples, life of God, like Sri Ramakrishna, who incarnated for the benefit of humanity, for us. Life of Swami Vivekananda, life of Holy Mother. So now coming to life of Trigunatitananda. It is a wonderful life. He led a very beautiful life. But the most striking thing about his life is his death. You know, people say, do not ask what is the name or what is how they lived. It is very good. The way he led his life is excellent. But the way he died is also something very, very unique. As Mr. Ganguly was telling, in the year 1915, at a very young age, he died. But he did not mention the cause. You know, in the year 1914, a temple that he has established in San Francisco, he was delivering some talks and lecture. One of his own disciple, who was little crazy, he threw a crude bomb at him. And he himself also died, and Swami was also he was grievously injured during that bomb. So, why he threw that and what was the purpose of his doing that, we do not know, because he died instantly. So he was not alive to tell the story that why he did what he did. But when they were taking Maharaj to the hospital, on the way, he is grievously in extreme pain. But you know what? He's asking, how is Louis? Where is Louis? So they did not tell him at that time, but he's dead. Please take care of him. Please take care of him. You see, a man who was somebody has thrown a bomb on him, and he also is he's in extreme pain. But instead of worrying about himself, he's more worried about the person who has thrown the bomb. Imagine, can we really do that? We get offended, even some people, just little bit of, they would say some insulting word or something like that, we get so angry. Here, the person has thrown height of mercifulness, means we cannot imagine how merciful a person can be. This is to be imagined. If I tell, we may not understand the whole situation of how the whole thing was. But think, somebody has thrown a bomb and eventually you may not also survive. So even then, his concern was, how is Louis? Where is he? Then, when he was taken to the hospital, he lived for a few days, because it was thrown in December and it came to January. The nurses who were attending, the doctors who were attending him said, we have never ever seen a patient so calm and so quiet and who can endure the pain so silently. It is all the result of the sadhana. There was pain, there was suffering, there was everything, but he could endure that, and there was no complaint, not a word of complaint against the suffering, never shouting, never. And his entire life, nobody saw Swami Trigunatitananda shouting or getting irritated or fighting with anybody, not raising his voice also. And during that extreme period when somebody cries in pain and then they say, give me meditating, they become irritated. But he was calm and quiet during the entire process. And then one day he told, tomorrow I am going to leave my body. To one of his disciples who was taking care of him, he said, dear, tomorrow I am going to leave my body. He was aware of his death, when it is going to come. This is the result of a sadhana. If we do sadhana, we get so many power and we get to know ourselves very well. So he knew the time of his death, and the next day he passed away very peacefully. And that also happened to the Tithi Puja of Swami Vivekananda, 10th January 1915. So imagine how a sadhana can help man. He was extremely dedicated and to the ideal and followed and very regimented life. That is why he gained that equanimity during all that. We talk about Sthita we have to, this is an example that during an extreme adversity, he was calm and quiet and he endured all the pain without complaining at all. So the thing is where the bomb was thrown. So the bomb was thrown in a place where the temple he had built. That was the first, one of the major contribution of Swami Trigunatitananda was that he built that temple. And it is one of the unique temple, first Hindu temple in the Western world. First Hindu temple in the Western world, which was a combination, which is a combination of a church, a mosque, and all temples taken together, and then had to highlight it all, an American residence. That is what he told. This not only it is a combination of a mosque, a church, and a temple, but it also aligned to the American residence because it is in a residential area. When you look from outside, it looks like a residence at first instance, and then you realize that it is a temple. Such a unique architecture. It is a thing. Swami Vivekananda had that charisma of creating Bellumat, because Bellumat also is one of the most unique temple ever built, and it is one of the most unique temple in India. Similarly, the temple at San Francisco is also very, very unique. I wish we could have a presentation where I could have shown you a picture of South San Francisco Center. That was his brainchild. And you know how in one day suddenly he decides that in 1904 that 1995 that I will build a temple. He calls a managing committee meeting and he starts collecting the fund for the temple, and it started in the foundation of the temple was given in August, and next year January it was completed, it was inaugurated. Imagine the tenacity with which he worked. One of his main teaching is, if you want to do something, do it now. Don't keep it for the future. Don't keep it just like that. Wasting of procrastination is a main problem with us. If you want to do something good, do it now. So the moment he realized that I have to build a temple, he started working for it and built a beautiful temple. And within less than 4-5 months, it was inaugurated. Later on, 4 more stories were added and other things. So after building the temple, everybody was praising because of his unique architecture. Then, Swami Trigunatitananda said, if there was even iota of selfish interest in this, vested interest in building this temple is there, this temple will not stand, it will fall, it will get destroyed. And as if to prove his words, in the year 1906, there was a big earthquake in San Francisco where most of the half of the place got collapsed because of this, and there was a fire because gas, no water connection, gas also because of leakage of gas, fire was there. It was a total devastation. The whole of part of San Francisco was suffering. And so much so when even Abhidananji, who was at that time in New York, suggested that to Trigunatitanandaji, if you want any help, please tell us, I will come and help you. But Trigunatitanandaji said, no, there is no need, we will manage because we are getting food from the government. But he was such a strict, and he did not ask for help or anything. He said, when everybody is managing, we will also manage. And naturally, because of that devastating earthquake, all the donors and the well-wisher of the San Francisco Center also lost so much of money. There was no donation, nothing. But even during that crisis, he was very calm and quiet, and he managed. And that is why one of the most important things that he contributed was that temple, which is even now a heritage. It is a heritage for us because it is the first ever temple. Now there are many temples in America, but it is the first time a temple was started because that concept was not there of worshipping. So it is one of the major contribution of Swami Trigunatitanandaji. He also started an English magazine, the Voice of America, there during that time, but this did not last. But another thing is, while he was in India, he started, he felt that he was teaching people Gita and the other intellectual thing to all the boys who are interested, young boys and other things. Then he felt that there should be a need to create a magazine so that message of Sri Ramakrishna and Swamiji and Vedanta message and Gita could pass on to the general public in ordinary language, the language that they understand. Because all our scriptures are in Sanskrit and it is very difficult for an ordinary person to comprehend. So he started a magazine called Udbodhan, Udbodhan, he started, and that time Swamiji, when he heard that he has started, he gave some money and he said that it has to be kept in time deposit, and interest is to be used. And Swamiji was very happy that he has started that magazine. But you see, the onus of responsibility of running the magazine was solely on the shoulders of Swami Trigunatitanandaji. So he worked very hard. All his life he said you have to work very hard, very hard. Without hard work you cannot hope success. Simply contemplating, I want this, I want that, that is mere wish is not enough. You have to work hard. So during that Udbodhan, we had a printing press. So he was the compositor who was doing composing, he was the machine man, and he was doing all the work, and then going for and getting people to subscribe the magazine and getting articles from outside, everything. Imagine to run a magazine solely on his shoulder. We also now have a Swami in Holland who is also doing this very good work in having a magazine, online magazine he is doing. He is also very capable. So but they are all following the footsteps. During that time, he was alone, no money, in hot weather, this and that. He is going out collecting subscription money and then collecting articles from people and bringing in translation and then composing and then selling. All the things he was doing alone. Udbodhan is now also a magazine which is we have even now, and it is one of our few magazines that Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission is publishing. So that is his second major contribution. Maybe in a responsive, if chronological order is, he started the magazine first and the temple came second. But I am saying, whatever you see, it is one of his major contribution is to have this Udbodhan magazine and then this center in San Francisco, where he built the first Hindu temple. That was a major contribution of Swami Trigunatitanandaji. So Swami Trigunatitanandaji was born in a very aristocratic family and called in 24 Parganas called Naura, and he was born 5. So in a village that Naura has become, all the centers where direct disciples were born. Now it has come under Ramakrishna Mission. So it so happened that he was born in a very rich family and very affluent, and everything was very good. So what happened is, when he was in school, he was studying in Metropolitan School, which was run by Master Mahashaya, and he was called kidnapper because whenever he found a suitable boy or young boy, he will take them to Sri Ramakrishna. So what happened is, Swami Trigunatitananda, his name is Sharada, his pre-monastic name was Sharada Prasanna Mitra. Sharada Prasanna Mitra had a gold watch. It's because he is from a Jamindar family, very rich, so he was having a gold watch. So he lost the watch. When he lost the watch, he was very upset. He was so upset that he gave up studies, he could not study, everything was very bad for him. So Master Mahashaya saw. So he said, you come to me and you will get peace. I will take you to a place where you will get peace. So he took him to Sri Ramakrishna. Imagine losing a watch. That is how it is. If you are destined to be improving, things will happen just like that. It is a miracle. He lost a watch. It was a very ordinary incident, but that losing of his watch and his getting Vishadra here into Shoka, into sorrow, and then Master Mahashaya took him to Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna immediately recognized that he is one of our own. He is one of my own. And as usual, he started training Sharada Prasanna as he trained all the disciples. It is a very interesting way each disciple is taught. The moment Sharada Prasanna came, he said, bring me a glass of water and wash my feet. Sharada Prasanna was taught. Why he is asking me to do something like that? It is such a manual job, because he is from an aristocratic family, his house is full of household, how can he do something like that? But nevertheless he did. And slowly all that ego of that I am from a rich man, I am very popular, all things vanished. And this is how slowly Sri Ramakrishna trained him under his tutelage, and then what are the things to be done and things like that. This is small thing, but how it changes the life we have to see. So now we see that he grows, and then slowly he leaves his parents. It is all the months we have to leave the parents, our house and commitment. They say your duty is to look after your parents, but if you want to become a monk, there is a clause that you can do that, and because it is a higher calling, you have to become he can become a monk. So his parents were totally against Sadapasanna becoming a monk, but nevertheless he resisted all the thing and he joined the Ramakrishna order. Now the thing is, after joining, many times when he was with Sri Ramakrishna, he wanted to travel many places. He had the idea of traveling many places after joining the Ramakrishna order. I remember when we were discussing life of Swamiji and Premanandji and others, when we went to the Artpur, the birthplace of Swami Premanandji, there they got inspired in December 1885 and they wanted to take vow of sannyasa after the passing away of Sri Ramakrishna. So in the 1887 they take vows and he was named Swami Trigunatitananda. He got the name. All of them were present in Artpur and then they get the name Trigunatitanandaji. After getting this name, he started traveling all over and he went to a place very difficult places like Tibet and this Mansarovar and places like that, where it is very hard to imagine. Now also those places are very inaccessible, very difficult to travel. Those times alone he would travel. He was fearless. He was not afraid of anything. So once he was going towards this Mansarovar, he found that it is in a very high place. There is a very small bridge which is broken from many places connecting to hills. So he was very apprehensive and it was becoming very dark now. So what to do? Then somehow he decided to cross that bridge. And as he crossed, the moon was hidden in the cloud. So it was totally dark. Then somehow out of magic somebody said, "Come and follow me." Took hold of his hand and follow me. So he followed fearlessly. You see, it was a God. Below it was all God. If he had fallen, he would have broken his body and he would have died. So, but somebody came and rescued him and took him to the other side. He said, "Just follow me," and he followed. When he reached the other side, he could not see anybody. You see, we cannot explain the ways of God, whether we call it a miracle or what. We do not know, but it really happened. And we came to know it because all the experiences that he was gathering during his journey travel, he was writing that in a magazine. He was writing those things, recording those things, so we know about this story. And then sometimes he was very hungry. And then one day while he was traveling very hungry, so he took a shelter in a tree. Then in the night somebody said, "Come and have something." When he came down, the person gave him a sugar candy and some little water. Because he was very hungry, exhausted and tired. But after taking the sugar candy and this glass of water, when he came down next day, he saw there is no people, no house, nothing. We have to wonder who came and offered the sugar candy and water. We do not know. You see, we don't discuss about the miracles, but miracles do happen in our lives also. The only thing is we are not observant enough and we do not realize that it is happening. So, like this, many things are happening. But we will wonder why, when so many things are happening, even many direct disciples also were saved. Why during that bomb issue, why did he die like that? Maybe God wanted to give some lesson to the people. Maybe otherwise, how do you know how to forgive? Forgiveness, to love and forgive, for an easy person to love and forgive is very good. But forgiving your enemy, forgiving somebody who has hurt you very much, is it requires a very high kind of realization. Otherwise, you cannot do it. So this is, I think, maybe to highlight that extreme case. Even Jesus, when he was crucified, he said, "Forgive them, Lord, for they do not know what they are doing." How on earth can somebody who is getting nailed, they are putting nails on his body, and he says, "Forgive them, Lord, for they do not know what they are doing." This is the highest kind of example that we see. And we see the same in the life of Trigunatitanandaji when he says, "Where is Louis?" The person was thrown the bomb. Anyway, that is one part of the story. And now, say his devotion, when we talk of direct disciples, we talk of the relationship with Sri Ramakrishna, relationship with Holy Mother, and relationship with Swami Vivekananda. So, as we talk of Holy Mother, while she was staying in Kolkata, she wanted cayenne, that hot chili. So, she told Trigunatitanandaji to buy hot chili. His devotion was so thorough that he said, "Mother has wanted chili." So, in order to buy chili, he started traveling from one place to another and tasting each chili to know which is the hottest, which is the best. And by the time he reached the end of the market, his tongue was swollen and painful. Tears were coming out of his eyes. But finally, getting to know which Chili is the best to purchase that. Such is devotion and dedication. How many of us can do something like that with the utmost dedication? That is why he said very few teachings are there. One is work hard, and if you want to do it now. Well, very crisp and short thing, but it is that if you work hard and if you want to do something, do it now. That is one thing. Now, this is, we are talking of very serious thing. There is a very interesting thing also in his life. You know, he could eat very less and survive for days together. Very, very less on, even sometimes it so happened that he has taken some green grass, nothing else and water because there was no food. And he could survive and he could fast for a long period of time. But on the contrary, he could eat at least for what 4-5% eat, he can eat himself alone. It so happens that one day he was having a bad stomach, or a stomach upset was there, and so it was suggested that he should go to a doctor. So the he went to the doctor for consultation, and doctor was a devotee. So then doctor said, Maharaj, I am so happy you have come, you please sit, I will look after the patient and then I will come back to you. What can I offer you? So he said, Rasgulla. Rasgulla is cheese ball, sweetened cheese ball. So give me this Rasgulla. Then 2 rupees Rasgulla he purchased. 2 rupees at that time was 2 pesos. It was very lot of Rasgulla you can get. So the doctor without hesitation brought to Rasgulla got 2 rupees and gave it to the Swami. So Swami immediately ate everything also. After eating everything and drinking water, then the doctor said, okay, now Swami, what is the problem? Why did you come to me? Oh, I have a stomach upset. Imagine, the doctor said, if you have a stomach upset, why did you take so much of Rasgulla? In one particular person, he could eat. That was a very funny part of his life, that he had the capacity to eat too much without any problem, without having any problem. Stomach upset once or twice, but most of the time he could eat and digest so much. It so happened, Matangani Devi, mother of Premanandaji Maharaj, where sister of Balaram Basu, when he came to the Kolkata, she invited 3 or 4 disciples, these boys, to her house. But other people could not go, so Trigunatitananda, Sarda Prasanna, as he was known, he went alone. So mother was very upset. You see, I have to prepare food for 4 people and only one has come, all the food would go best. She was very upset. But Sharada Prasada said, don't worry mother, I will eat everything. And he ate what was cooked for 4 people. This is something very unique and funny in his life. I just wanted to narrate some funny parts. Another funny part is while he was traveling, there was a shop. Now we have in Philippines also things like that. I think in India also there might be eat all you can. You give a reasonable price and eat all you can. Shops are there. So that shopkeeper also, at that time also there was a policy, eat all you can. So Sharada Prasanna, before eating, he said, I will eat little more. I think you should charge me more. This charge is not good enough. I can eat more than what you think. No, Swami, what more you can think? Everybody is like this. He was very confident that nobody can eat everything. So he said, no, you give this charge only and this is whatever you want, as much. There is unlimited rice, unlimited wine, everything is unlimited. So by the time he finished, all the item in his house, that shop, that restaurant was over, finished. Nothing was left. And that owner was shocked. Oh my goodness. Then instead of, because he was very devotee also and of God and man in ochre cloth has done it, he said, sir, I am very happy. I don't want any extra money, but my only request is, please do not come to my shop ever again. So this is a very thing, and said, okay. This was very unique that he could live and endure things like that very easily. And when he was in San Francisco, he has passed through a very, very hard time. And while he was managing Udbodhan, there was also many times he has to fast because there was no food, there was no money. But at the same time, when opportunity came, he will eat something like this. This is something very funny as well as unique in his life. But what we see and learn from his life is that he worked very, very hard for everything. Whatever he put his mind, he came out successful. He built a temple, he came out successful. If he wanted to start Udbodhan magazine, he came out. And while he was making this magazine with full hard work, suddenly Swamiji says, Turiyananji wants to come away, you go in his place. You see, once you are attached, once we start a project, we get attached to that project, and we say we don't want to leave, we want to run. That is how we generally worldly people do. We get attached to what we are doing. But moment Swamiji said that now we need you to go to US and you forget whatever you are doing here, he readily agrees and he goes to US, and there also he starts immediately what he was doing in India. He starts taking Gita, Upanishads, started sharing scriptures, and many people invited. And it so happens he was invited in one place where, as a the main person, chairperson in a meeting, where the other person previous year it was participated. The same chair was occupied by President Roosevelt. You see how much respect that he got there out of his work is something to be noteworthy, because he was very successful. He had many admirers and devotees. Whatever he did because from his heart, and he was very greatly successful in his work. Because untimely death and unfortunate death brought end to that drastically, but till that means till last date he was giving a discourse, he was giving a lecture, believe it. In the December he was giving a discourse, and bomb was thrown, so he died in the harness, as we say, working. He died and left his body. So that is another thing. Another thing is all the great persons have the power of endurance. Sri Ramakrishna used to say shaw, endure. So we see that in the life of all the disciples. For example, now if you want to talk of Swami Trigunatitanandaji, he was suffering from fistula. So when the doctor wanted to operate, they said that if you want to cut deep, you have to use anesthesia, otherwise it will be very painful. And but Swami said, don't, once you start the operation, you tell me, and then you do it. So for whole 1 hour the operation was done. Fistula means it is a very painful procedure of cutting and everything. And there was not a word of expression of pain or cry or anything. He endured the entire thing very silently, and after that it was over, everything is over. We have to also learn this from the great souls, how to endure pain. We become desperate, we are suicidal and things like that. We complain and complain. Why? If we try to endure the pains that we are enduring physically, we have to learn. I am also having severe pain in the leg, but I also get desperate, I also get anxious, whenever I am very much desperate, when I get disappointed, when I get frustrated, I pray to Sri Ramakrishna, I read the life of such direct disciples, and then my mind calms down. Then I learn, okay, this is part of life, this pain is part of life, this pain is part of life. We cannot escape pain. Earlier, if we have a regimented life, if we follow very regulated and regimented life, the pain will be very minimum, all the adversities will be very less. But since we are reckless, we meet with such accident and have pains and suffering. But we can avoid this also all the time. So these are the things that we learn, the endurance, the tenacity. Very important thing is we have to follow everything with great tenacity. Even in Gita, in Upanishad also, even Shankaracharya, one of the great orators who wrote so many commentaries, they said Tatparata means with great devotion, in tenacity you have to pursue and hold on to, like they said, you should have a bulldog tenacity to hold on to something and pursue to the end. Swami Vivekananda also says, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Once you set your goal, you should not stop in between. But the problem is, first our goals are not set. So how will we reach that place? Unless we have a fixed goal in our life, we cannot reach there. So what is the fundamental thing is we have to look into our own selves, have some introspection and see what do we want from ourselves, what is the goal, what do we want to have in our life which will make me happy, which will give me joy, whether it will be money, success, even if it is success, no problem, you have a good job, no problem. But once you decide, put your entire attention to that and try to fulfill it. That is what we learn from life of Swami Trigunatitanandaji. All disciples, because Swamiji also said it is better to play Gita when I play football than reading Gita. Such a prophetic statement, unimaginable. Nobody can talk something like that you avoid Gita and play football. But you say, do what you like most and with full attention. If you do anything with full attention, you will be successful. So this is the thing I wanted to talk about Swami Trigunatitanandaji. Now we will read over one or two teachings before I finish my I want to read one or two one or two teachings. Is God all merciful? No. He is both merciful and cruel. He is softer than the flower and yet harder than adamant. Sometimes he is loving mother and sometimes most terrible, the very consort of all consuming time. Infinite are his forms and infinite his quality. He alone knows how he would guide someone or bless somebody. All that is beyond the comprehension of man, nay, of God's event. He can be both infinitely kind and infinitely cruel. It is all according to His will. He cannot be guided according to our thoughts and wishes. We are His, and He will deal with us just as He pleases. Our devotion must not be dependent on any particular action, quality, or form of His. Our devotion must be without any motive. It is extremely bad if our devotion increases when he is kind and takes to flight when he is cruel or does not heed our prayers. But I concede that for the beginner, devotion cannot be free from motives altogether. You see, here he describes the entire thing in totality. We are very happy when God blesses us with something, we become afraid. But both the things you will get if you are expecting something from God, the idea is if you are expecting something from the God, it will be sometimes it will be good or sometimes it will be bad. So the best way is either you surrender totally to what happens or totally makes yourself wishless. Have no wish altogether, no desire altogether. If you cleanse your mind of all desire, there will be no suffering. But as long as you have desire, God usually describes God and the explanation come as per his experience. He was with God, incarnation of God, Sri Ramakrishna. He is a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. So, what even then he is describing God like that. It is God can be cruel, sometimes he can be good. Because when we are in trouble, we feel God is not justified. He has not done things very beautifully for me, now rightfully for me. He should not have punished. But you will get both. You see, mother also sometimes punishes. She slaps you, even canes you. But she is a mother at the end of the day. You cannot say that a mother can be love all the time, all the time. When she gets irritated, when we do naughty things, she also punishes. So this is how he describes God, and this is one of the teachings that he is. But what I like more is work hard and do it now. These are the very crisp teaching that he gave in USS. Two things: work hard and do it now. So I hope we will learn something from his life. We have shared a little bit. As time passes again and again and again and again, I have shared only few instances of his life and little bit of touches, little bit of his life. But we can read great deal on his because it is all nowadays. Everything is available on it. I think keep on reading good books, good lectures, good and hear good lectures, read good articles, which is that nowadays it is very at click of a button on your click of a mouse you can read all those things. Spend your time in sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha doesn't mean to have association with a man in an ochre clothes. Sadhu sangha means reading good books and having good thoughts. If you are reading good books and having good thoughts, all the problems of your life will be solved. With these few words, I stop my talk here. Thank you very much. Om Niranjanam Nityamananta Rupam Bhaktanukampa Vigraham Vaishavatam Parameshamidam Ramakrishna Shirsha Namami.
Thank you, Maharajji, for your very enlightening and comprehensive discourse on the life and teachings of Swami Trigunatitanandaji Maharaj. Before I pass on the mic to our friend Hiranya for giving vote of thanks to the participant and today's speaker, Swami Udaaranadaji Maharaj, I would remind you that this Sunday at the same time, that is 6:30 p.m. Philippine time, which is 4:00 p.m. India time, Swami Chidekanandaji Maharaj will give his last session on why do we need God. So try to attend, and now I would request our friend Hiranya to kindly give vote of thanks. Hiranya.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you very much, Maharaj. As you said, this is a very wonderful opportunity to meet and listen to one of the disciples of Thakur's life, and I really enjoyed Trigunatitanandaji's life. I also had this question for a long, long time, Maharaj, that why his death came in such a crude way, that somebody threw bomb. I used to think, even today also I was thinking, but maybe I don't have any answer. I don't know. But so it is basically, we have to all accept it, that is it because of Samaskara, or in through his death God wanted to teach us a lesson? So these are the questions I used to think long back. But anyway, it is a wonderful time, very nice time. I enjoyed, and thank you for this lecture, Trigunatitananda Maharaj's life, and altogether it was a wonderful evening, Maharaj. Thank you for offering us such a wonderful evening today.
Thank you very much, Hiranya. And thank you, Maharaji, and thank you all participants. Now I will end the program. Please give me 30 seconds. It looks like that we are left with another 5 minutes or so. So if you want to exchange informally, I will come back to you. So that 4 to 5 minutes you can use it usefully. So now give me 30 seconds to end the program.